awesome.
Oh, thank
So
you. You hear
yeah,
me?
you sound great. Yeah, you're terrific. Okay,
Awesome.
let me get you properly introduced, and then
Okay.
we can get rocking and rolling because you are in for a treat, you guys. If you've been thinking about how you can monetize some of the things you do in your business without selling something to people, by creating an audience, then this is the woman you want to be hearing from, because she's going to talk with you about how to quickly find sponsors for events that you do and for other things you may be involved in. Sheila Faragajema, first of all, is a dear friend of mine. We've been working together. We've been friends for a lot of years. She, through her company, which is called Connected Sponsor, she helps event promoters monetize their events by building longstanding relationships and partnerships with sponsoring companies. Today, she helps others do the same by teaching her frameworks that she spent the last 10 plus years developing and perfecting. Bottom line is, she's kind of like I'll say a miracle worker for profit. She finds money to help you grow your business. And I got to tell you, she is pretty dang awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome, with all the worldly gusto you've got, the incredible Sheila. I'm speechless now. I'm delirious. You look awesome.
Oh, thank you.
You look like you're 12 years old today. What is up with that?
I
You look
know.
fabulous. You look
I've been on like this amazing weight loss journey. So I'm down 35 pounds since you probably last saw me. So I'm pretty psyched about that.
that was fast.
And
That's
more to
amazing.
go.
That's
Since November. Since November. But you're
holy
actually the first person who's noticed it,
Sheila.
which means we probably haven't seen each other in a while.
Well, I thought we've talked. I mean, maybe it's just been audio, but
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
to tell
yeah.
you, you look amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You look
Thank you.
absolutely amazing. And guys, it wasn't like she looked bad before, so don't take this the wrong way. She always looked really good, but today she looks amazeballs, and it's all for you here at World Love Week. So welcome, and you know that's a big milestone. That's a lot of weight to
Yep.
lose in such a short period of
Very
time.
happy. Yeah.
You feeling good?
Feeling great. The energy is off the wall. Off the wall at
Awesome.
this point. Yeah.
Awesome. That's a whole nother conversation, but let's dive in. And I know you've got some stuff planned for us, so I will shut up
I do.
and let
I
you take
do.
it
And I wanted to just say thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be here. It's amazing. And what you do is amazing. So thank you that I'm part of it. Is it okay if I share my screens? I actually have
It
some
is.
slides and stuff to run
I
through
just
as
have to
well.
give you the keys. Oh, what happened here? I'm giving it to me. I need to make you co-host. Just a little detail here. How do I do that for you? Hang on a minute. I pinned you, so I got to do something differently here.
Okay.
We're not officially making you the co-host, the co-hostess with the mostest, and you should now can do it. You're
Okay.
good.
Let me just grab
Let the
this
party begin.
and share. So these are my screens. You can see that okay?
Yes, I do.
Cool. Excellent. Well, hey folks. Hi. How are you? I'm so happy to be here. My name is Sheila Farah-Herjema. I am the co-founder of Connected Sponsor. I'm also a strategic partner expert. And I'm just thrilled to be here with Ken today and with all you folks. So I just wanted, before I get into my subject, I wanted to talk to you a little bit, or kind of give you a little bit of background of who I am. You can probably hear from, and there we go. Oops, too far. I will get this straight at one point, Ken. I now have a clicker, so I'm improving. You're helping me all the time. I am from Ireland originally. You can probably hear that from the accent. And I loved what Pam had said about the universe. So when I came over here, I came over right after college. And my biggest fear was I would meet an American and get stuck over here. So the universe heard American. Okay, we can do that. And I met Tony, my husband. We've actually been happily married for almost 26 years now. In April, it'll be 26 years. So I'm not complaining. You know, it's funny how that kind of works out. So when I came over, I had a degree in biochemistry, still have a degree in biochemistry, but I took a job at a lab. And when I got pregnant with Ashling, who is the girl in the hat in one of these pictures here, I knew that I never wanted to go back to work. So not that I didn't want to work, I'm not lazy, but I just wanted to be able to be with her all the time whenever I needed to be. And I just wanted to work on my terms. So what I did was I did not go back to work. Then I needed to figure out what the heck I was going to do because, you know, I still had to pay the bills and feed the baby. So I actually started a business remanufacturing toner cartridges. So just a very oddball business. It was 1996. There was nobody really doing that. And it worked out to be a really great business for me. It allowed me to, you know, see my goals of staying home with her when I needed to be. There were times I brought her with me when I was doing deliveries. We expanded out to doing laser printer repair, all that kind of stuff. But it was really a ton of fun. But part of that journey was I joined BNI, which is a really good networking group where you can pass referrals to each other. And I met a gentleman that Ken knows well, Jeremy Shapiro. So at the time, Jeremy had an IT company, I had my toner company, so like it was a perfect match. But our real interest was real estate. So we met one day in a Starbucks and started talking. And he's like, "Did you ever read that Rich Dad Poor Dad book?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I love it." And he's like, "Yeah." He says, "Do you see the thing in the back, the $200 game board?" He's like, "What kind of idiot would I pay that much money for that?" And I'm like, "That would be me. I did that." But it just turned out to be a really great relationship with him. What we did do was we started to do a coaching course with Robert Allen. So this is back in like 2001, 2002, early 2000s. We through that course, we launched a company called Foreclosures Mass, which did incredibly well. But the thing with Robert Allen is one of the things that he said, and I'm pretty sure that most people may not have even heard this, but he said, you want to find somebody who's brilliant, but doesn't know how to market themselves, and you want to market for them. And that's basically been my entire career since then. I'm just really good at seeing the connections with people. It's almost like I can see this imaginary line going from person to person. I'm really good at seeing, you know, the kind of joint ventures they can have, or the kind of partnerships they can have that they maybe not necessarily see themselves. So that's kind of how I got to here. Through doing that, I actually had the lady in the picture here, Deanna. I had a business with her called Affiliate Mastermind Group for about 4 years, where we thought on that and, you know, mastermind and stuff as well. And when Deanna, she got hired by a large digital marketing company here in the States to run their events. And when that happened, she asked me to come in and help out with the events as well. And that really kind of started this business for me. You know, it wasn't something I expected. I was just kind of helping her out. And what happened was other people started seeing what I was doing, and they asked me, you know, can you do this for us too? And I was just, okay. And before I knew it, I'd organically just kind of grown this business through word of mouth, which was pretty cool. So I'm going to get down to the meat and potatoes now. I don't have a lot of time here. I think I have about 20 minutes. Hopefully I'm going to fit this in this, but I do have a gift for you at the end. It is a one pager, something I'm very excited about. I love one pagers. You're going to see that. It's going to help you to figure out if you want to bring sponsors into your brand, how to do it, where to find them, that kind of stuff. So you'll get a lot of that at the end, but I'm going to push through just a couple of the different ways that I do it for myself. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is having a database. Ken will agree, this is probably the most important thing that you can do in your business. When you have a database, when you have a list, you can literally turn it on. You want to nurture it, you want to constantly give it value, but you can turn it on anytime you need to, you know, promote something. If, you know, if you're having a bad month, you can go out and sell something to that list. And it just really is very important when we're in this kind of information marketing space. What I have found is that anytime I talk about sponsorship, the question I get is, you know, how can you find sponsors? It's so elusive, it's so hard to find. And honestly, when I started, I felt exactly the same way. I had no idea what to do. It was just, it was very overwhelming to me. So what I did was I just started thinking, you know, well, let's just have a conversation with people who may sponsor and just see what they want and see if we can figure it out like that. So I'm going to go through like the few of the things that I used. I'm going to go through maybe about 4 or 5 frameworks. I don't really have time to do more than that. But like I say, you'll have that link at the end as well. So the first one is follow your checkbook. This one was straight out of BNI. When we used to, in BNI, we used to have what we call visitor days. So we're always looking to grow the membership. And one of the suggestions they made was, you know, follow your checkbook. Who are you paying money to right now in your business? These might be good visitors for BNI. So I thought about this and I was like, well, that would probably work for sponsorship as well. So if you're running an event and you're teaching what you do, who you pay money to do what you do, maybe these would be good for your students as well. So this one, I have the entire one sheet that we're going to give you at the end. So we can you can just look at that more. It's way more in depth. I'm just going to kind of skip over it a little bit. The next one I want to talk about is referrals and brainstorming. So, you know, just talk to other people. They will give you ideas. Sometimes entrepreneurs tend to be in this like silo on their own. They don't think they can ask for help because they think that if they do ask for help, it's going to seem like they don't really know what they're doing, or they're, you know, that they're not really very effective in the job. But that's not the case at all. I mean, just ask for help and referrals. Ask your current sponsors, you know, who else do you think you would recommend for an event like this? And they may have some people. Sponsors tend to go in kind of like packs. They, you know, tend to go to the same events. Actually, a friend of mine, Partiv, He has a company called e-launchers, and they're constantly, like he says, the same sponsors at every event. And he's actually given me a bunch of referrals to bring sponsors into my events, just based on the ones that he sees and meets out there as well. You know, you can imagine the friendships form, and they're like going out for dinner at night and stuff like that. So it's, you know, a really good way to kind of figure that out as well. You also want to just brainstorm with other services. So, you know, with what you're selling to somebody, what's another good thing to have in there? So sometimes like a service will do a certain part of it, but then they partner with another company to do another piece of whatever needs to be done. So that's another great way to kind of brainstorm and think about what it is that you're looking, you know, to bring in other sponsors. And then the last piece of that is network with other event planners and sponsor salespeople. I mean, they will always help you, you know, with suggestions and ideas. And honestly, like when they do that, I'm more than happy to give them a split of the commission, because, you know, this is someone I wouldn't necessarily have brought in if I hadn't gotten the referral from somebody else. The next one I wanted to talk about is other events. And this is kind of how I started off. The whole checkbook thing, I figured it out later. But when I started out, I started with traffic and conversion, which is that event that Deanna runs. And I just thought to myself, well, what are other events that are like traffic and conversion? And who's sponsoring those events? Maybe they'd like to sponsor this event as well. So I started looking around for like similar events in the industry. So if you're not in digital marketing, these other events won't make much sense to you, but TNC is very similar to Icon, which is very similar to Archangel, which is similar to Box App Marketing, HubDoc, MGA Live, GKIC, whole bunch of these other events. So what I started to do was I started looking at who was sponsoring those events and reaching out to them and building that database and saying, you know, what is it about an event that makes sense to you? Would this one kind of make sense to you as well? And brought people in that way. Also look for events that aren't exactly the same, but have a similar audience. So now you're looking at the demographic of the audience that's going to be at your event. So for the event that I was doing at the time, TNC, the demographic was entrepreneurs who were into online marketing and marketing in general. So I started looking for more of those type of entrepreneurs. So, you know, the events I mentioned earlier, similar events to those might be FinCon or Podfest. Not exactly the same event, but you know, the same vendors at those events would probably do well at our events as well. Then the other piece of it as well that you want to do is you want to just Google events plus niche or niche. I never know which is right in that one, niche or niche, to see. So you'll find some events that you aren't thinking of. And all the times these events will have a website, they'll have their sponsors listed. Oftentimes you can click on the logo of the sponsor and get into their website and get some contact information and kind of start your search there. So another great way to do it. Another thing to look at is past events. So we're not just looking at this year's events, but let's look at events in the past as well. And let's look at sponsors that maybe used to sponsor an event but don't anymore. It's a great way to just kind of figure out what went wrong. If there's like, it may just not be their business model anymore, but it may be something that went wrong in the past, and you might be able to be the hero and bring them back in and make that right for them. I know with TNC, when we started there, it was the years prior, they had some sponsors, they didn't have anyone in charge of it. And you know the old saying, if everyone's in charge of it, nobody's in charge of it. So it gave us a great opportunity to reach out to some of these people, bring them back into the event for free, make sure that we just like really took care of them. And then at the end of that, everything was just great again, and they kept coming year after year. And then the last one I have is look at where else they're paying for advertising. So, you know, if there's podcasts in the subject matter that you're dealing with, you know, do they have sponsors on their podcast? What about ads? You know, look at Google ads, Instagram, Facebook ads, LinkedIn, all of these other things as well, to see where people are spending money, banners, AdSense, all of that. So you can really kind of get a good feel for what's out there and what's available. And then I think that is it. I just wanted to, again, show you that one pager that I have. You can go to connectedsponsors.com/finding sponsors. It's free. It's I got about a 10-minute video in there that goes through the whole following your checkbook. And then there's a great worksheet that is editable that you can go in and edit things, make your list. You can save it on one pager for free. It's just like, it's a really cool tool. I love it. So Ken, that is what I have. Not sure if you have any questions or anything, or
Well, we have plenty of time to play. We have
yeah,
15 minutes,
excellent.
15 minutes to play. I gave you 30 and you got
Oh,
concise.
you told me 20.
Well, you're still
I
took
know
only
it's going fast.
15. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
You did. Yeah. We're going to dance for a little bit. So
Okay.
first of all, the special free gift that Sheila has is in the dashboard. So you'll go to, you can either go to the link that she has there, or you can go to worldloveweek.com/dashboard and you will find it there to make life easy for you. We have everything there for you
You're
on the
so
dashboard.
organized. You're awesome.
Well, we do our best. And additionally, if you would like a recording of this and you want to consider joining us for our VIP All Access Pass, which is also available on the dashboard, you'll see an upgrade to VIP button there. It's right now just $97. Now, if you're watching this recording in the future and you want to grab it, if you see it later on this week, it may be more. So I recommend that you go get it right now. It gives you access to all of the recordings for life, as well as a bunch of other bonuses as well. And you get your own World Love Week mug, which I don't even have mine yet. It is somewhere in transit between Salt Lake City and here in Sydney, Australia. God knows where it is, but I'm sure someone's enjoying it, but not me. So you'll be able to get your mug. And it's all, by the way, they're all personalized. Your name is on the mug. So I think you'll kind of enjoy that. Anyway, so Sheila, tell us, since we have some time to play and you can relax a little bit, tell us your most fun sponsorship story, the one that may be the hardest sponsorship you've ever gotten, but that's turned into the best.
It was probably my first, okay, because you always remember your first, right?
Some of them you want to forget, but that's another conversation
Yeah,
altogether.
yeah. So like you know me, Ken, I'm pretty introverted. The first time I started doing calls to people for this, I was like pretty terrified. So I had a call with Infusionsoft, and they are a pretty big company, a big CRM. They're called Keep now. And I was just like terrified. And I got on the call with them and we talked about it, talked about the whole thing, and they ended up saying yes. So that's actually, they've pretty much sponsored everything I've done since then as well, which is great. I just love those guys. So that is one of the funniest. Some of the kind of weird ones, we had like an issue once with a sponsor who just wasn't happy with the space, which was, you know, sometimes you're looking at a floor map of a hotel and the space looks like it's good, and this was just like not going to work out for them at all. So they were very angry, justifiably. And so Deanna, like, is a hero with things like this. She organized a popcorn machine to be there for the whole 3 days of the event. So like all the time you could smell this popcorn, and it just drove traffic to their event like gangbusters. So they're like off in a corner that looked like it would get traffic and it didn't. As soon as she put that popcorn machine in there, she got like the traffic was insane there. So that was always fun as well. But yeah, there's definitely some fun stories.
Whoops, you were just breaking up there for a second. Try it one more time.
I said there was definitely some fun stories.
Your connection went wacko. Either yours or mine just went wacko. Maybe
I'm
mine.
not sure. I'm hearing you perfectly clear. So maybe it's me. Let me just check.
I don't know if everyone's hearing. It may be you, it may be me. I can't tell. But all of a sudden, you went. Oh, then it was me.
Oh, it was you? Okay.
Apparently it was me.
Thanks, Pam.
It's always my fault. It's well, welcome to internet land.
I know.
So now we're not in a physical event space.
Right.
God knows when. God knows when it will be. So I don't know if you have some thoughts on attracting attention or sponsor scenarios.
I do. So what we're really trying to do is we're trying to make it as live as possible. Where obviously, you know, people are in their living rooms in front of a computer. It's not the live, there isn't a hallway anymore. So you actually did a really good job with this in your event recently, Ken. I really enjoyed it. I was one of your sponsors. So you had the rooms there, like we had people coming into the rooms, and it was such a great thing because like I was actually sitting right here in this exact spot, and I had the Zoom on and like nothing happened, and next all of a sudden it was like ding dong and someone comes in and it's like, oh my God, that's great. And then they'd leave or they'd be there, someone else would come in, they'd leave, and it was just like continuous people coming in. But I thought it was a better experience because it was way more one-to-one. It wasn't like people just kind of going by in the hallway and dropping in for a second. Like it was more actual conversation. So I thought that was great. So the whole thing of, you know, creating those experiences for people, creating what do you call it? Sorry, I'm just worried about my computer here. Looks like it's fine. Creating those appointments for people as well is just a really great way to do it. And yeah, you just want to make it as live as possible, have them interacting as much as possible. You know, it's still the same scenario. Like what you're looking for with your sponsors is you're looking to have, like, you're teaching people something in the room, whether the room is the Zoom room or the actual ballroom, and you're looking for them to walk out and have every single resource they need to be successful. So that's like the ideal sponsorship, and everyone's winning in that. It sounds cliche, but everyone's winning. So you know, your students are getting the resources they need, your sponsors are getting loads of leads, and then you as the event promoter is getting money to make the event even better and adding more to it. So what's better than that, right?
Yeah, it's true. And thank you for your feedback on what we did during our Pride event.
Oh, it
And
was amazing.
yeah, but Pride is all about producing ridiculously irresistible digital events, and it's my signature event, and we just kind of love that event. But the thing about having you as a sponsor and having others as sponsors is as an event producer, our sponsor, and listen carefully, you guys, our sponsors are still our customers, because they pay for placement, they pay to play, to be there. Now, whether they pay with cash or whether they pay with services or trades or whatever else, doesn't matter. They're still clients and customers, and we need to take care of them as well as taking care of our attendees. So you've got to be sure that you really do care for them and ensure that they get the best experience. Sheila makes a good point about education and so on. If you're going to do a event, and I've been both a sponsor, aka exhibitor, as well as a producer, and you really got to watch the way you show up. You know, if you're coming in as an exhibitor, aka as a sponsor, then your job is to generate business. You're investing money to be there, whether it be physically or digitally, and you need to have a return on your investment, on your time, on your energy, on your effort, on your travel, on all the resources you need to bring to that event. Now, the good news is digitally, you don't have to go bring in the big TVs and all the other stuff. You know, you don't have to be handing out little squeeze balls or whatever. I will tell you, I do miss all the free T-shirts. I got to say, I've had some really great T-shirts from events lately. Some of the blockchain events have had really great creative T-shirts, and I'm bummed I haven't had any in over a year. But they were, to me, my experience is most of that stuff's a waste. And the reason I say that is because I will grab a T-shirt and I'm gone. Yeah. And there may be 10 or 12 other people or 3 people or whatever at that booth, and no one's got to talk to me. And typically I don't want to, I can be, as much as people don't believe this, an introvert as well. And I don't want to talk to you unless I know it's something specific to my needs. I don't want to feel like I'm being sold. I don't want to be pushed. And that's my sense of it. It just doesn't feel good to me. So I grab my stuff and I will follow up with you later if I'm interested. Now, of course, the reality of following up later is how many people really do. Right. So in the digital arena, they come into your chat room, they come into your breakout session within Zoom, for example. We have breakout rooms specific for each sponsor. It's much less confrontational. It's much easier and much less intimidating to be in that room and have a conversation with someone that's really giving you value, not selling you. Because at least within our events, our sponsors, in order to keep the integrity of our event together, are not allowed to sell. They're there to teach, educate, lead, generate, build some rapport, and then follow up after. And it eliminates all of the creepy.
And that is actually the best way to sell, Ken. Like any salesperson will tell you, if you can build value, your sale is made. You don't even have to, go for the close and ask for the 5 no's or any of that, like stuff that you learn. But the other thing I wanted to say about sponsors as well is, like, they are your customer. I totally agree. But they become your partner and your friend. There's sponsors that go to events year after year after year, and they wouldn't just not go. I actually interviewed Dave Woodward a couple of days ago and he was talking about TNC. He's like, we don't even care about the ROI there anymore. We go there because it's a great event and because we get to just meet with That's funny. Meet with the, is that really going out to everyone? That's very distracting again.
No, that was just between us. It's just,
Oh, right.
just
It's
between us.
to everyone.
So I just said something in our private little chat, those of us that are here are on deck and our previous participants, and Sheila just lost it. So yeah.
But anyway, my point is that these are great strategic partnerships. So you want to look after them and not send them awful messages on chat.
So now we do know that, by the way, when we do events, part of my new goal is to crack Sheila up whenever she speaks, and that is now all part of my agenda. Whenever
I love it,
so
Michelle, that will help me with my nerves, because I'm always terribly nervous. You know that.
Yeah. So Michelle's up next in a few minutes, and I'm obviously gonna have to do the same to her, and so I can crack her up also. So Pam got lucky, but I wouldn't be able to phase Pam. No, she would not. She'd be like, whatever. But yeah. So now I know. I got you. It's great. I'm gonna crack
Thank
you
you.
up.
Appreciate that. I'm sure.
Well, that's the best way to get you out of feeling nervous or anything else, and just dance with it.
Yeah,
because
exactly. The only way around it is through it, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just pulling through.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and this is World Love Week, and this really is about putting love back in business, and really, to me, being real. To me, being real. And so we have people here that are doing their first presentations ever, and some of them are scared to death to do it. And of course, why would you be scared? You're only talking to 17 million people. Uh-oh, just lost Sheila. I just scared her, and she's gone. Oh my goodness. I think her computer just crashed, is what I think just happened. So welcome, Sheila, to that. I will dance for minutes, and if Pam, you want to pop in, and Michelle, you want to pop in, we can chit chat for a little bit. We have just a few minutes before Michelle comes on in. But I don't think she ran away. I think her computer just crashed. You just see it just went down and then gone. So
it happens.
Welcome to our world. Welcome to our world. So we're gonna go live with Michelle Hollis in just a few minutes. But you are watching World Love Week, and it is live, and it is crazy, and it really is about bringing back that feeling of fun and joy and love in business, in relationships. And I think the biggest piece of this, having been doing events for nearly 40 years, and I kid you not, I mean, I'm only 39 years old, so how the hell I did that, I don't know. My mother had some miraculous deception or conception or whatever the heck it is. And it was certainly a deception in the inception. But here's the thing. We do live stressful lives in just about so many different ways. We do. And I think the best thing that we can do to serve in our communities, whatever community it is to add an element of fun. In whatever way. And I tend to do it by being cheeky. Other people do it in different ways. But at the end of the day, we have two major drivers: to be loved or to love. It comes down to that. So much fear comes into play because we have a lack of either of those. And so, right? So in whatever way we can share compassion, we can share our hearts, and if we can learn to be vulnerable.
Yes.
And that's a really, for many people, difficult thing. There's a TV show that unfortunately has been canceled a couple of years ago, and I'm going blank now on who the stars were, but I think it was called The Newsroom. And if you haven't seen it, I believe it was on HBO, not HBO, forgive me, on Netflix rather. You want to see this show. And the guy that played the lead was a newscaster with a pretty significant ego. But the fascinating thing is that when he did something stupid, and he would do things and it wasn't a comedy that way, it was a drama, but when he would just be, for all, a dick, that's a technical term. And someone would ask him in a scene in this show, he actually said, it was because I really felt insecure about this, that, and he just went right to his heart and like, here's why I was such a jerk. And that was like, wow, how can you ever be mad at somebody truly long when they've come from their heart and said, I was just afraid. I just felt vulnerable and I lashed out and I'm really sorry. I mean, that's just like being human. And I want to celebrate
that's the clearing conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I call that being authentic, because a lot of times people front, they fake it till they make it. But nobody's
Right.
impressed with that. Nobody is ever impressed with that. They're more impressed when you tell them what's wrong with you, because then you just validated the things that are wrong with them.
Exactly.
Giving them
Exactly.
permission to keep it real too.
Yep, exactly.
I stand for love. Do you?
Hey, this is Captain Lou, and I stand for love, baby. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Yes. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you?
Get ready for the incredible Julie Jones, because she's going to talk to you about, and I quote, how to get shit done in 2021. And that is a technical term. The amazing Julie Jones has been speaking and coaching for 15 years. She's a world traveler, a master networker, and a connector of people. She's been married for 8 years and is a fur mom of 3 rescue dogs, a rescue cat, along with a rescue tortoise. This I got to hear about. Julie will be published in Lead Up for Women in March 2021. She's a keynote speaker for Spirit, Mind, and Body Conference, and is a Her Story recipient. How do you pronounce it? Her story recipient.
Yeah, that sounds good. Her story.
Whatever the hell you want, recipient for the Arizona Global Women's Peace Network, and co-facilitator for the Women's Sanctuary event. Julie has a heart for loving and serving people. And yes, she will get you up off of your seat, out of your chair, into your heart, and ready to rock and roll and get shit done. Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible, the outrageous. Let's hear it for Julie Jones.
Thank you, Ken. Woo! Oh my gosh, what a fabulous introduction. And I am super excited to be here in support of World Love Week. And Ken, what an amazing opportunity that you have given to so many people, and for people to really get back to basics. Because when we talk about, getting shit done or love in business, it really comes down to this. It starts with you. And so I have, and I think you have screen share available.
I will make you a co-host momentarily.
All right. So
power vested in me by me. Let's see how I do that.
Oh, really? Well, thank you so much, Ken. It's like snap your fingers and there it is. So if you can tell, I love to have fun. And just a little bit more about my background. I actually was a police officer for 10 years and on a SWAT team. And so why I'm so passionate about people living their best life is that because I saw how quickly life can change. It's really this idea that people are living in the someday that's going to happen when I've lost all the weight, or I have all the money, or I've gotten to this invisible spectrum that you think is going to happen, and all of a sudden life has changed. I saw it in my own life with, the passing of an early age of my mother and my father. And so there are no guarantees. So it's like, how do you live the best life possible now? And so I get so excited about this topic. But what's more important to me, besides getting shit done, is really the idea that it starts with you first. And how do you show up in the world? And how do you have self-love? Because having self-love for you is going to spread it out to the world. And so I think I've got now screen share. Woohoo! Thank you, Ken, for the whole idea of screen share. So let me just talk a little bit about why fit in when you were born to stand out. And that's really the idea. I love Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss is my favorite because Dr. Seuss gave us some quotes that I believe everybody should be living by. If you have never gotten the book, all the places you'll go, read it as an adult and you'll see how it applies in your life these days. So love and business, how the two of them go hand in hand. And I really believe that when we are authentic with who we are and what we bring to the party, that makes all the difference in the world. Honestly, when you are aligned with who you are, everything seems possible. As human beings, we are human lie detectors. So when somebody's coming at us and they're not being authentic and true to who they are, we really truly pick up on that difference. So here's a picture of me being authentic and true and loving who I am.
You look great. Oh my God, you look awesome.
Thank you, Ken. Don't I look awesome? This was for
I'm turned on. I'm speechless.
I did my makeup a little bit different for you today. So, but if you can see in my background at the very top, I am love. That was a personalized license plate that I have. I now currently have a personal license plate of Be Brave, because again, it starts with who you are and what you're putting out to the world. Do you think I have any issue with expressing myself as who I am? All of the people who are watching this and will be watching this to infinity and beyond are going to see this picture. I love who I am and the authenticness that I bring to any time I'm having a conversation. Because what matters most is really, truly, how do you see yourself? When you take a look in the mirror, what do you see? Who is looking back at you? I will tell you, one of the exercises that a lot of times in coaching, I assign people to do is really to look yourself in the eyes in a mirror. And can you say, I love you? That is one of the most difficult things I have found for people to do, because looking yourself in the eye and really recognizing who you are and everything that you bring to the party. Listen, if you're going to get a lot done in life and you are going to accomplish all those dreams and goals, you truly have to be in alignment with who you are. I believe that all of us have been given unique gifts. And one of the things that you can do is write down what those unique gifts are. And if you want to share them, I don't know if we have a Facebook feed going on or whatever it is, but everybody is unique. Everybody brings a special gift. Are you living in alignment with who you are and those gifts that you bring to this world? Because everybody was designed to bring those gifts. So again, this goes back to when you're authentic, you create an energy and a vibration that people want to be around because you are unique. And all of us really face different fears in life. You know, our core fears, I believe that there's two of them, is that you'll find out that you're not enough or that you won't be loved or accepted. So every time that we're making a decision to look at doing anything, what happens is that those fears get in our way. And really, quite honestly, those fears are just designed to create new opportunities. I'm a huge believer in face the fear and just do it anyway. Do you know how much time is probably spent sitting on the fence and worrying about the decisions that you are making? Being on the fence is the most painful place to be. And there's a reason why they call hindsight 2020. So once you make that decision, be confident that you made the best decision possible with the information that you had at the given time. Because when the situation passes, and now all of a sudden you have all this additional information, hence 2020, because now everything seems so better. I should have done this and I should have done that. I'm here to tell you, stop shooting on yourself, because you are enough and you are loved and you are accepted when you live in alignment with yourself. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. So how are you choosing to live your life? Everything is a decision. Everything that when you spend time and how you spend your time, it's all a decision. Make yourself a priority. Anytime that you are doing anything with your calendar, look to see what is most important to you. And love means self-care. So taking care of yourself and making sure that you are putting yourself as a priority is not selfish. It is not designed to second guess what you are doing. You are only as good to other people that you know in your life as good as you are to yourself. You are that reflection. Remind yourself, I love this by Wayne Dwyer, you cannot fail at being yourself. So some of the key takeaways that I really just want to share with you when it comes to self-love and how this is going to impact you in business, but you know what, more importantly, how it's going to impact you in life, because life is your business. How many times do we go to a networking event, or how many times are we out there and people ask about you, and the first thing that we're identifying ourselves as is sometimes what we do for business. I'm here to tell you that you are so much more. See, when people ask me, what do you do? I start off the conversation by saying, I look good. And then that opens up the door for a lot more conversation with people in order to be able to share who we truly are. So again, believe in yourself, that you have to offer. And this is a big one for me. Leave everyone better off for knowing you. Sometimes it's as simple as a smile. It's making eye contact. It is the simple fact of saying hello. I think a lot of times right now in society, we've gotten away from the simple acts of kindness. And I'm not saying that that's everywhere, but again, it all starts with you. So what are you doing to make a difference in everybody's life that you meet? I believe in keep doing and taking action. You're never sure what's going to be working, what's not working. But as long as you're moving and taking action, life is going to get done. And you are going to get things done that are on your dream list. What are your goals? What are the things that you really want to be accomplishing in life? I believe also in staying outward focused. And what do I mean by that? The only time that a lot of times we will feel stress is when we're focused in on us and what's going on for us. Now, I'm not saying that my life is full of sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns. But what I am saying is that when I'm focused in on how I can help other people and how I can serve people, a lot of times what's going on in my life doesn't seem as stressful, doesn't seem as negative, doesn't seem as important because I'm focused in on other people. Live in the moment and love everyone for where they are. Have fun and don't worry about the process. See, another thing that I really truly believe, and we've heard the saying about walk a mile in another person's shoes. Well, everybody has been brought up with their own set of glasses, their own perspectives, their own blinders, that sometimes we feel like we always have to be right. Here's a great coaching tip. Do you want to be right, or do you want to have really great relationships? Because you can't have both. You know, it's really important to be respectful of what other people are saying and take that into consideration. Finally, stop being afraid of what may happen and know that you are safe. No matter what happens, trust the process. I'm also a big one in being in gratitude and staying positive. And of course, we are not in this alone. So make sure that you are open, vulnerable, and ask for help. Really, life is no fun as what I call a lone ranger. Find people and surround yourself with the people who love you for who you are, that support you in your dreams, that are all about helping you to make a difference. And, you know, in closing, because, you know, I'd love for Ken and I to get into a little bit more discussion, but I just want to leave you with this. You have this one life. How do you want to spend it? By apologizing, regretting, questioning, hating yourself, running after people who don't see you. Here's what I want you to do is be brave, believe in yourself, do what feels good, take risks. You have this one life. Make yourself proud. And so on that, Ken, I really, if there's any questions or anything you want to ask me, because I'm all about impromptu and I really just love interacting with people and how I can make a difference.
Well, then we need to be impromptu.
Yes.
Let's dance, baby. When people come to you, Julie, what is the number one thing that they want to deal with?
The number one thing they want to deal with is really what stops them. Like they have really hit that ceiling. And for a lot of people as well, too, they have forgotten how to have fun and really, truly go out there and have fun while they're doing things. See, Ken, I feel we've been given this myth of that anything worth doing has to be hard. You have to work at it. It has to be difficult. I'm not telling you that sometimes, our dreams don't take some work, but why can't it be easy and fun? And, sometimes like if you're not having fun, I believe you're doing it wrong because nobody wants to be part of the have-tos in life anymore. I love to say I get to. Like I was excited tonight to say I get to speak with Ken Krell on World Love because for me, this is fun and this is what I'm passionate about doing.
Yeah, it's true. It's funny because while you were speaking, I bought myself a ski pass for this year because I haven't skied in quite a few years for a variety of logistical reasons, and now I'm going to ski Australia for the first time ever in a few months. Cannot wait. Fun. And a friend of mine was saying, I'm only going to go for a day. I'm like, I'm going for 5 days minimum because that is important. So if you said, and here,
yourself first, like you put yourself first.
Yeah.
And again, because I believe as well too, Ken, that when you are not always thinking about what has to be done and you're in that space of skiing, all of these creative ideas and all these new thoughts and all of this is going to come to you and you're going to come back a new man. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, look at what I'm going to get done now. Like, I can't wait to see what new ideas you come up with.
Well, it's true. Because here's the thing, when you're going down a mountain, you're thinking about staying alive, not about anything else. It's like, you can't be really depressed when you're going down a mountain. There is no space in your brain for that. It's really interesting. But I'll tell you, it really comes down to making that decision and putting it on your calendar. Because if you don't put it on your calendar, there's no space for it. I was realizing last night that as I want to swim daily, I need to get back to the pool because to me, it's better cardio. It's lower impact, doesn't mess with your legs. It's just a better thing. And so I've been putting it off for a while now. And I realized, dummy, put it in your calendar. That's how you get it done. You block the time and that's what it is. And boom, you're going to ski. You're going to swim from 7 to 8 in the morning or 7 to 7:30 in the morning. That's the time you block, period, or whatever that happens to be. And fun should be a non-negotiable because what are we here for? And what's the point? And the beautiful thing is, I'll tell you, it's interesting. I don't like being called a coach. I'm that's not my persona. I'm kind of like you. I'm a get shit done person. And my high-end program is called Safari, and it is really about a getting it done, a doing, a producing rather than a learning. Because you learn by doing. I'm really all about that. You want to do an event, we'll get you to do an event. A successful event, we'll get it done. One way or the other, we'll get it done. You learn along the way. You don't need to know how to program the VCR until you're going to use what the hell is a VCR? Until you use whatever that is, right? Right? So in the old days when I was doing coaching, I remember, oh God, I got to go do this call. Now it's like, I can't wait. I got a Safari call tomorrow. It's like, this is great. They're my people. Big difference in attitude. If you can structure your lives that way, then you got it made. Because then you're never working again. Then you're just playing,
Well, I honestly say that the people I love to work with are not going to be energy sucks. So yeah. It's, when we talk, and I think you have a very similar process when I talk to people, It's like we have to be a good fit. And I'm not saying that you're going to love everything that I have to say, because here's the idea. I want to be respected. I'm not worried about being liked. I mean, I have a lot of circle of friends, like, but I'm the person that's going to give it to you straight.
Yep.
Like, you know, you've been living life and people have not been giving you the feedback that, you know, you're looking to hear so that you can accomplish everything that you want. Again, it's all about, you got to take action now, like every single moment. It's moment by moment. Stop worrying so much about the future and start living for today.
Oh, it's true. It's absolutely true. So the bottom line is, and think about this, who comes first? Who comes first?
Right.
You know, and I tell you, we have been trained, at least my generation, I believe, has been trained that other people come first. Everyone else comes first. And that is so not right, because it puts you into a place where you don't take care of you. Now, the airlines have it figured out. You get on an airplane, they put you in that really uncomfortable seat, and they say, okay, seat backs up to the most uncomfortable and locked positions, tray tables locked away. And in the case of a change in cabin pressure, oxygen mask will fall from the ceiling. Okay. Put it on someone else first so you can die in the meantime. That's not what they say.
No, they don't, because I think that die part is like, you know, that's, you know, conveniently omitted.
Right. You know, it's like delay your focus, put it on you first and then help others is the point, right? Put it on yourself. Is that being selfish? No, it's being, you can't help anybody else until you take care of yourself. And so many people, and we see all these people in new age stuff, you know, and the yoga people and all the artsy people, and I'm going to probably say it in some way that may seem disrespectful and it's not meant that way, but everyone in the holistic is like, oh, money is evil. Bullshit, it's evil, but money is great. You want to have rich people taking care of you because it means they're full of abundance. Last thing I want to see is some broke person talking about abundance. That's like, really? I mean, come on. You were meant to be rich.
Right. Well, and that's it. Again, when I talked about the idea that we're all human lie detectors. So if somebody is telling me about their abundant lifestyle and they just drove up in a 79 Pinto, well, I think my inner radar is going to be like, something doesn't quite right about this whole scenario. And so it's like, just be true to who you are. And I'm the first to say, if I don't know, I don't know, but I will get the information for you. And my heart is so huge, and like my highest value is to be in service of people. But again, before I'm in service of people, I'm in service for myself, because if I'm not taking care of myself, I really truly am not good for anyone else. And I have a lot to offer. Like I said, there's a lot rattling around in this head up here.
I've noticed. I've noticed.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, it's that energy that really is contagious. And when you do come from that place of authenticity and craziness, if you will, and I say this, I'm being, I'm talking very slowly and I'm being very measured, but you see me in action. I mean, I'm a crazy person, and I want to always be that. I want everyone to celebrate your inner crazy, because that's where happiness lies. When you're in that children to be seen or to be seen and not heard mode, or the shush mode, that it's not who we were meant to be. We're meant as humans, I believe, and of course I'm always right. Just saying, in my world, doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means I'm right. And don't we all feel that way? Right? Don't we all feel that way? We're always right. But here's the thing: we're meant to have fun. You live longer if you have fun. There's something to live for. People have been this past 12 months-ish, have been so challenged, and some have taken the whole pandemic situation incredibly negatively. And listen, 500,000 million deaths, that's not exactly something you dance about by any means. And there's been a lot of tragedy along the way, and it's hit my family as well. But at the end of the day, there are things that we can control and there's things that we can't. So what we can control is how we deal with it. And if we can make this a positive experience for ourselves, make it our best year ever, turn this this isolation into another way of communicating. I mean, there are days I don't even leave this apartment, but yet I leave this apartment every moment because I'm with you globally, and my world audience has never stopped. So how am I disconnected from anybody? You know?
Right. Well, and it's all perspective, and you hit it on the nail on the head.
Ouch,
It's
that
a
hurt.
choice. It is really a choice, because here's the thing. I mean, you know, like sometimes like you wake up and you have a flat tire, right? Well, is it a bad moment or is it a bad day? Because some people will take that incident and they'll turn it into like this horrible day. Well, you're just going to continue to attract more horribleness. I mean, that's just the bottom line. But if you say, okay, well, I had a bad tire, and this is how I usually think, well, it prevented me from like driving down the road and getting into a serious accident. Like I missed that accident, or I missed bad traffic, or okay, it's just, you know, just an inconvenience to start my day. And then from that point, it's like, it's a glorious day. Again, everything that happens, it's a choice, whether you want to be positive or negative. And obviously I choose a lot of positivity because I love life. And again, I don't know how much time I have. So I truly am going to live each and every moment, you know, in the best light possible. Again, not all sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns, as I say, but I have a pretty good damn life. So
it's true. But you know, people, why we always tease my audiences when I was teaching real estate, you know, the person didn't accept the offer, whatever it was. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? And they're like, half of them good, half of them say bad. I'm saying, no, it's a thing. You don't know.
Right.
You don't know. You don't know whether the rejection of the offer doesn't mean that you can't be able to go down further, or you can't offer. You never know what is going to be coming up next. And you know, certainly there's plenty of stories of people missing an airplane flight, and they're upset, and the next thing they learn the plane crashed. Oh, good thing I missed that flight. Thank you very much. You know, there is that whatever your spiritual belief is, you know, my sense is that there's some kind of higher power, whatever you choose to define it is your own choice. But I think there's some element of some protection universe that's looking after us. At least I got a few of those angels looking over me somehow, given all the obstacles I've had. I think we all do. So if we recognize, I'll give you a quick story because we're running out of time. And I was in Cambodia about 10 years ago, and I was broke. I literally had $20. Was it $20? I had $20 left to my name that day. That was all I had in the world. That was it. I was done. It was after the GFC, global financial crisis. Here in Australia, they call it really nice stuff. Then I lost the house, lost the car, you know, completely humiliated. Everything was like, my life was, to coin a phrase, shit. Okay. And yet here I am in Cambodia because, hey, it's cheap there, and really amazing place of temples. It's stunning. And I met this guy, and we're having this conversation. And I said, I'm not really worried about money. He goes, bullshit, you know, but he said to me, he said, whenever you need it, does it show up? And I was like, yeah, it does. He says, what are you worried about? What are you freaked out about? It will come. And sure enough, the next day, some stuff got sold online, and there was money again. Now, I mean, it wasn't like millions, but I was able to eat, you know, I was able to sleep. I was, you know, wasn't on the street. So having that faith and recognizing that, doesn't it take a lot of pressure off so you can have fun?
it does. It does. Just, you know, just be aware that it will come to you. Like, I mean, sometimes I say the universe is testing you to see how bad you really want something. Yeah. And, you know, you will attract what you are thinking about and putting out there. Oh, honestly, so if you're thinking about no money, you have no money.
It's true. Well, you know, it's all, the whole law of attraction thing. You know, where you focus is where it is, which is really important. Now, I know you have a gift for us, correct?
I do. So it's on the dashboard. I know that it'll be listed. So I do have a VIP gift. So because I'm so passionate about gratitude, my whole VIP gift is around gratitude. So check it out.
I want you, first of all, I'll say thank you and gratitude, because it means a lot. And I know that when you go through it, you will love it as well. And speaking of VIP, if you've not upgraded to VIP yet, I urge you to do that while you still can. It's a crazy low price. It's a stupid low price, frankly. And with that, which we've never done before, you get your own World Love Week mug, personalized World Love Week mug. I can't even say it. I'm delirious. But you'll get your mug delivered sometime in the next lifetime when it arrives. You know, when the postal service decides to send it to you. But it will be dispatched immediately. You'll love it. So if you haven't yet gotten yourself your VIP all access pass, you'll get access to this recording, all the others for life. And with that said, Julie Jones, I love you. It is always a pleasure to have you in my space. In our space, you are a light that shines bright. And thank you again for being with us. You're awesome.
Love you, Ken. Thank you so much for hosting me. I really appreciate it.
I stand for love. Do you?
Hey, this is Captain Lou, and I stand for love, baby. Do you?
Do you?
Do you?
Yes. Do you? Do you?
Do you?
Do you?
Do you?
The delightful face you're looking at right now is the incredible DJ Warner, who will be going live with us in just a matter of seconds. Let me go find his introduction, which is something you want to not miss for 1 second, because it was so well written. I didn't even write it myself, actually, but he's pretty awesome. Are you guys ready? Just put a big thing in the chat. Tell me you are ready to rock and roll, because we are going to do this right now. World Love Week continues with the incredible DK Warner right now. Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest, I'm excited to have him on board, because if you have been dealing with any element of stress over the course of the past life that you've been living, but certainly over the past year and however many months, as things have been certainly challenging, and even if they've been the best year ever of opportunity, stress is, well, let's put it this way, diamonds get made from stress. So today we're going to talk about more love and less stress. And I want to introduce you to the man that they call Mr. Calm. He's the author of 3 books on marketing, customer service, and stress elimination, having personally mentored over 200 executives and professionals, who loves to help overstressed professionals acknowledge the stress that they're carrying, activate their own inner peace to achieve potentially more success than ever before in their professional and personal lives. Welcome, please, will you? It's hard for me to welcome you without applause, mister, but welcome without applause, the incredible, the outrageous, the loving Mr. DK Warner. How you doing, DK?
Good, Ken, and yourself. Thanks so much for having me here today. I really appreciate it.
Great.
And I figure if we applaud now, then it's over, right? So we're just really getting started. So
I love it. I love it.
Like
I got to tell you, I love that backdrop. That is so perfect, and it's so perfect for you. It is totally perfect for you.
I appreciate that. I'm just in my center of calmness here.
I love it. I love it.
A quick second while I do a screen share.
Okay, I'll let you run with it. And ladies and gentlemen, DK has the stage.
All right. Thank you very much, Ken. And I must say before I begin that I took a look at the speaker lineup, and I've been in and out of the sessions as well. And it's such an amazing group that we have here this week for World Love Week. Such an amazing concept, and amazingly put together so quickly as well, right? So it's just a series of miracles compounding on each other here.
Thank you. And not without its stress, mister, let me tell you.
I can believe it, right? Well, that's what I'm here for, to take care of that.
And I'm listening.
All right, I'm going to bypass that introduction, which I had the pleasure of joining Kim Bassett for a coffee with Kim earlier. And right now, I would just like to say we're so excited to be here for World Love Week that we need to be sure to take Michelle Hollis's advice and breathe, right? She's got that breathing meditation. I do recommend folks go download that, although I haven't yet. I am going to right after this or soon after. But why don't we just take a moment and breathe right now, and just breathe deep into the belly. And then forcefully push that breath out just with your lips pursed. Twice more. Belly breath. Force that air out. Belly breath. Force that breath out. That gets that energy up into your mind. And now we're here and present and ready to talk about eliminating stress. I'd like to open with a deep question for you that I'm going to actually read word for word twice. Don't answer it now, but just keep it in mind as we go through what I have to share with you here today. If I could help you with only one result that would reduce your stress, what result would you want to have? And I'll just ask that question one more time. If I could help you with one and only one result that would reduce your stress, what result would you want to have? Once again, I'd love to thank Ken Krell as well as Jor, and I have to admit, I am not sure how to pronounce Jor's last name. Ken, I don't know if you help me with that or not.
I'd have to go look at it to pronounce it right.
Yeah, I understand. If I could just call him Jor, I thank you both.
Zor is, and it's not easy because it's spelled DHOR, but it's actually pronounced Zor with a Z. Go figure.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and so great to be a part of this and part of the initiative that he's advancing as well. We're going to talk about loving more today and stressing less with 5 takeaways. First, you'll be able to fully acknowledge the stress that's holding you back from greater success. And if you think you're not stressed out, we all have some level of stress that we can work on, shift away from, and then move forward into greater levels of success. And then we'll also explore a proven sequence to eliminate that stress without any pills or therapy. There's no magic pill. And if there was one, you wouldn't want it. It's better to have mastery of this within yourself rather than having to rely on something external. And you'll be able to, once you remove that and eliminate it, that stress, learn how to apply your full potential to opportunities that are most likely right in front of you. As well, with this, you'll be fully empowered to love your family, your friends, your colleagues, those in your business, your suppliers, your entire network from a center of calmness. And we'll explore what that means here in just a moment. And of course, a natural benefit from all this, once you eliminate stress, enhance your success, you'll be able to retain and enhance both your health and your wealth in every aspect of your life. But let me ask, what holds us back? What keeps us in this stress mode? I received an email actually at the beginning of the year. I guess this was in like a New Year's present for me, right? From a productivity coach who I've worked with a little bit. And he decided to send me 21 of the biggest causes of low-grade productivity. And isn't that part of the human condition? We all want to be productive. And if we're not productive, it's difficult to have enough energy to love and to really give back to our communities as well as to our friends and colleagues, family, to share that love with others. If we're not being productive, there's just not much left to work with. And Mr. Sharma here decided that he needed to share 21 reasons with me. Of course, as soon as it's 21, I'm shut down. There's just too many reasons here for me to work with. But then I took a closer look, and it's just interesting the pattern, right, that you can see if you look carefully at this list for a bit. First, he calls out irregular relief from stress. Isn't that interesting? So if we have a way to relieve stress, that's great. But if we're not applying that methodology regularly, well, then stress builds up, it amplifies, and it affects everything we do because we're carrying that stress, right? Now, if you look at a couple of these other things, toxic media and association with naysayers, folks that are actually telling us with that vibration that Michelle Hollis was talking about, that vibration of negativity. And if we're taking those things in, well, then that's creating stress. And if we don't have a way to relieve ourselves of stress, this is starting to look a little bit like a system. And if we don't have fitness, and if we're addicted also to distractions and entertainment, social media, depending on how you're using your social media, and if we're not paying attention perhaps and letting our hygiene slip a bit, maybe a little bit of lack of sleep, although if you're running a World Love Week, okay, this week might be tough for sleep. If you're not watching your nutrition, well, you're going to have a tough time recovering that willpower that we need to continue continuously learning, improving, moving forward, and reaching out for greater levels of success. With too little learning, too little success, well, now we're starting to think the past looks better than the future, right? And that's going to impact our self-worth. And that's even before we think about whatever we have in our early life that really needs to be cleaned out before we're really operating at our full potential. Well, if you put all this together, what does that look like? A system. And as Edwards Deming indicated, the system that we work in is actually responsible for 90+% of the performance that we actually generate and the love that we have available to give, both within our business as well as in our personal lives. What's driving your system? Are you driven through love, or are you kind of driven by stress? If you just look at all those elements, how do they come together in your life? And if you're driven by stress, that's a negative system. It's going to generate negative results in your life, leading to catastrophic potential outcomes. But what if you didn't have to deal with that stress?
It's great to just be present and doing what we're supposed to be doing instead of going like this, spinning around and around. So thank you. I will use this again. I'll just remind myself of the calm place that I'm in right now.
You know, people tell other people relax, but they don't know what to do. Relax is just a word, and they don't even realize the tension that they have in their bodies. And that was such a great metaphor to make people acknowledge that they have tension and how poorly they function when they're in that state. So it was interesting. It was in the moment experience where I actually used what you said and it worked.
The color process that you did That was great, having those colors, because color is so powerful, and that really dialed down the stress from that red alert to that calmness, and it was powerful. So thank you so much, and I'm going to use that for the rest of the night. It might be an all-nighter, but I'm going to use it the rest of the night. So thanks.
All three of these healers, experienced, multi-decade experienced healers, had a key assignment due the day after I met with each of them. And they were stressed, right? They had this huge deadline. They weren't really sure of the path that they needed to take forward, but they found a way to shift through a method that I'll be sharing with you today. And you might ask, who might benefit? Who is this hour best for? If you're overworked professional, if you've got pressures coming in from every side and you're feeling that stress amplify and build in your life, then you're definitely in the right place in the right time. And if you're seeing uncertainty, perhaps you're an entrepreneur, uncertain of what's all changing, because the level of change has never been higher than what we've seen most recently. And since it's World Love Week, really most of us here are lovers, not fighters, right? But if we're finding ourselves in a little bit too much conflict, not sharing as much love, but doing more fighting and resolving and managing higher levels of stress and that conflict that can really amplify stress faster than almost anything, well, you're definitely in the right place at the right time. And if you have a moment of truth ahead of you, if you've got to give a speech, if you've got to hold an event, if you've got to plan and deliver something that perhaps is a little bit greater than yourself, well, then you need this method. And what we offer here are solutions. Of course, the most straightforward one, loving more while stressing less. No pills and no therapy, a solution that you take with you and it can apply anytime for the rest of your life, delivering you confidence and clarity inside. And with that confidence and with that clarity, of course, expanded vision, clarity of mission and purpose automatically generated by repeating a simple method with repetition and frequency. And I'd like to offer a gift for those who stay to the end of the session and really take all this material in, because really you've got to receive the entire message here to really understand what I'm talking about. And if you do, I've actually got a gift for you that I'm going to deliver right here live. And this is in addition to what we've already offered on the dashboard. I wanted to point out several mentors that I've had the pleasure of working with, and really and truly the most efficient way to move forward and become more successful and to have that and generate that reservoir of love is to work with mentors who have been there before and done what it is that we wish to do. In my case, it's Bruce Kumar Francis I wanted to highlight, who had a very deep and detailed knowledge of certain Asian disciplines, but it wasn't so much the detail that caught my attention as much as his mission, which is to help to free human beings from the inside, to generate inner peace by freeing everything that binds them from the inside out. So that was such a profound message that it really caught my attention. I learned a lot from Mr. Francis, as well as from several other mentors who helped me along the way. Dr. Lewinsky, who helped with my martial arts training and personal development, really instilled in me a deep level of personal development. Pastor Dell, who helped open my mind to spiritual principles and the concept and the reality that there is a world beyond the world that we see. Joel Bauer, who introduced me, and not only introduced me, but showed me detailed methodologies to live life by my own design. And then I thought this picture was so beautiful that I had to include it here. That's not why it's included here. Ken Krell, who showed me a couple of key principles and still teaches me today on a couple of things. The first being the principle of simplicity, that, for example, if two ideas combine, why not just combine them? And also the principle of speed. The best time to handle something is now. And even better than that would be right now, as we've seen here in World Love Week. And I just wanted to share something I'm very grateful for. I had the opportunity to work with my system with a type A personality, a financial strategist with hundreds, even thousands of clients who had a high level of stress and needed to find a way to generate higher levels of success by eliminating that stress. And so I wanted to introduce Dwayne Lair and the results that he received through 8 different sessions going through the DK method and Stress to Success program. I'll just let him speak in his own words.
I was able to really take my energy from a state of 8 or a 9 on the anxious scale or just stress scale. And right now I'm sitting at a 1 or a 2, maybe. If I can be perfectly at peace when I'm hearing yelling to get ready every day to the kids by my wife. And then I say something like, is love, gratitude, and just focusing on what you really want. It's just more and more all the time. It's so obvious that we can get stuck in thought patterns, or we can just replace them with new ones, right? And then you shift into a blissful day. I never use the term bliss, rare. Blissful day where you're just in complete gratitude and love of whatever you're doing at that point in time. And you're shifting your energy. And anybody can do that. Yeah, you're over the top and you bring it down to a 4 or a 5, right? Because that's where I feel like I'm at right now. 4, 3, 4, maybe.
Good. Okay.
So that's the thing. Like you're not necessarily going to completely eliminate the feeling, but you're going to drastically reduce it. And people need to know that that's okay too.
I feel really good. I feel like I couldn't do anything more. Or if you just sit all day and do that, okay, sure. But that was amazing. I've got them in a box. I don't want to do that, but I've got them in a box of, I'm a teacher. I know what I'm doing. You're going to listen to me, or that's that. No, something tweaked me right at the end. I was like, oh yeah, there it is. There it is.
Good. Yeah.
You know what? This whole gratitude thing's huge. It's, I don't talk enough about it in my program.
Key takeaways here. First, that Dwayne was able to take his stress level down from as high as a 10 plus when a family member of his actually was undergoing surgery, down to a 4 or 5 at that time. So even under heavy stress, he was able to find his way toward a higher level of inner peace and greater potential for success. And of course, when under garden variety levels of stress, he was able to take that stress level down to 1 or 2, which is like a very low baseline that a lot of us never even find at all. And not only that, through 8 days, Dwayne was able to find sensitivities and different perspectives on the challenges that he faced and the stress inputs. And he was able to find different solutions to deal with those concerns differently. And he took on the concept, and more than the concept, the engine of gratitude to move forward and generate the energy to progress toward success. Now, my journey along this line started when I was only 2 years old. I was actually in a bit of an accident on the back of a bike with my dad that for whatever reason, I wasn't seriously harmed as far as I know. Of course, I mean, that was a long time ago. But at that time, something happened, right? Something tweaked in my mind. I started having panic attacks, chronic anxiety, and that's something I carried with me for decades. And like most, I'd managed it, found ways to suppress it, but it found ways in and around whatever methodologies I came up with at first. And it formed a sort of emotional prison, right? I became introverted, very quiet, always having to put a lot of energy into managing this baseline level of stress that was generated by this childhood accident. And as I progressed and went through and accomplished things in education, accomplished things as an engineer, moved into management and found higher levels of corporate opportunities in corporate management, eventually I reached a point where I was in a toxic corporate environment. I'm sure a lot of you folks out there have experienced or know what I mean by that. But I wasn't equipped to handle that kind of emotional pressure. And so eventually it overwhelmed me, right? I was totally shut down. It was all I could do just to drag myself into work each day and work it out. And I had to even find an escape at lunch. So it was like half days, right, that I was working with. Completely overwhelmed. This picture is super accurate as to how I felt every day, dragging myself through the mud of that particular assignment. And I needed, therefore, a transformation method, something to completely clear that out and move forward. And I didn't even know what transformation was at that time, but I was at a crossroads. Either my career was going to go down the toilet basically, or I was going to find a solution. So I determined to find a solution, and then spent thousands of hours of careful training, study, as well as the mentorship that I've been super grateful and thankful to have received. And I found my answer. I found out that starting actually from a simple experience at the ocean, that I could generate a level of internal peace that I had never felt before in my entire life, as far as I could remember. And not only that, but I could repeat that. And as I began developing and distilling that process through the mentorship, through the careful study, and thousands of hours of specialized education, instruction, and study and development, I began to see stress and anxiety and overwhelm differently. And once I put this together into something I could teach others, distilled it down into a process that I could transfer to somebody in just 10 minutes time, I began teaching it. And that's what I'm here to share with you today. It's a solution for pain, right? And if you're feeling today a little bit too stressed to really feel the love, that's already coming to you through this method, you can enjoy having that inner peace restored, which is actually the source of your own love and eventually wealth. If you're too stressed to give the love for those who you know deserve it, you'll have an instant solution that's available to you any place and any time, nothing external required, completely inside. And if you're too stressed to have the vision, to see the love that's possible, through developing the mental clarity that'll come with the Stress to Success program, clarity will be yours, along with that vision, which will translate into a mission that will drive you to action to achieve that success and be able to give the love and see the love that can be developed and generated through the solutions that you offer. My method is 3 simple steps. Anybody can do these. I have had the good fortune of sharing these with quite a few clients now. And this simple 3-step process, it works every time for those who implement, for those who take it seriously. The first method we can actually explore right here and right now. If you have a piece of paper with you, a piece of scrap paper or a Post-it note, simply pull it out, get out a pen, and simply write the word results on it, just in a completely relaxed fashion, right? Just go ahead right now and just write the word results. Go ahead. Probably felt pretty straightforward, right? No big deal. Well, now what I'd like you to do is, on that same piece of paper, write the word results again. But first, before you do that, tense up all of your muscles in your face, your neck, your shoulders. Just kind of do one of these, like wrestling moves, right? Where you tense everything up in your upper body, but don't overdo it. And once you've tensed everything up, including your fingers and wrists, write that word results again. How did that feel? Pretty weird, right? And it's that tension that we're talking about. The tension that even though we applied it deliberately here, well, it's not deliberate. It's something that we accumulate over time. And that's the tension we're bringing into every new situation. And the more we wish to love, and the more we wish to move forward, and the more success we wish to generate, well, sometimes that stress continues to rise, and then we're carrying and having to carry this boulder of tension through all of those new experiences. And the result is a lot less success than we could have. And these tensions can be activated by all kinds of different things, right? Potential failure, COVID-19, childhood anxieties, just being watched and judged all the time. There's so much of that going on these days. Internal conflicts with your family, opportunities to speak in front of an unfamiliar group. Just think of that moment right before the speech begins. Now, if you have as much experience as Ken, I don't think this is a problem, but for most of us, there's a little twinge at least of stress that can show up right before the speech begins, right? Or what about if you're trying to start a new business online and you only have to do about 32 different steps, which aren't in order? There's overwhelm, right? They can easily creep in, and this affected me for many years before I found my way. The first step is simply to acknowledge that we have this stress. And once we've acknowledged it, well, then we can do something about it.
I want to share a little extra step and beyond because of your result. Imagine when you acknowledge your stress and tension and you release it, all the stress and tension are gone, just like bubbles. It disappeared out in the universe. So thank you for your method.
So once we've acknowledged the stress, we can perceive it. It's not hidden from us any further. Step 2 is to activate mind-body masteries that we all have, but we just haven't been applying them in the right sequence. And there's two steps of this that I'd like to call out to your attention right now. And these are the core and the crux of the DK method for eliminating stress, overwhelm, anxiety. The first is to deal with the mind. The mind often will generate what I call a thought tornado, right? That where it's all these thoughts are just whipping around, and they can generate enough power to actually destroy the ideas in your path and the concepts and all the things you want to work on moving forward. Well, with a tornado like this, you're going to be hidden in the cellar and not able to move forward on anything, right? What if there was a simple method to clear that out so that the road ahead becomes clear and the skies are clear? And similar to that, the emotional stress that we can carry that's often triggered by the smallest provocation, the smallest frustration, raging waves at our emotional center. And what if through a simple process, we can calm those raging seas and just allow that to be a still, smooth pond of pure emotional relaxation and calmness. And this is the gift that I found for myself, and it's what I'm sharing with you here today. Imagine being able to manifest inner peace from the inside without relying on external inputs, without relying on who you're with or what you're doing, or even necessarily receiving love, but just being able to, if you will, just clean out your inside, right? Just take that internal, all those internals that are happening, and manifest this complete and total inner peace, a center of calmness that's so powerful that it actually begins to affect your outside environment. And people love that, right? Folks that are calm, people love to be around them. They're not adding them any stress to their lives, and they're actually helping them cope with their own stress. Wouldn't that be a powerful ability and skill to have? And that's what I'm offering to transfer to you.
Being, for example, in traffic and getting angry is not a good thing, for example. And this is going to help me to get over these moments when my emotions take over, because I have something that is going to keep me under control and where I can keep control over my life. So Derek, I'm really grateful for that, because I was looking for a whole bunch of time for a solution for that. And you gave me a solution that will potentially even save my life.
What's the consequence of not dealing with stress? In the simple case that Christian mentioned here, if you're in traffic and you have a bit of an episode of road rage, and perhaps completely justified, well, that can cost property and life, right? Stress accumulated over long periods of time can also have devastating effects on health, right, as well as wealth through bad decision making, poor decision making. And if nothing else, think about your career. Imagine not having to hold such high levels of stress and being able to not only manage your career, but to accelerate and amplify the success that you find within your career from a center of calmness instead of a center of stress, which is so often and so common out there as folks push the envelope. And if they don't deal with the stress, even if they find the success, the cost is so great. And what I'm offering here is a chance to change that equation such that high success does not mean high stress, and actually eliminating stress generates higher levels of success. My question for you now is, what result do you want to achieve? And how is it that you plan to achieve it? Let's just stop for a moment and think through that. There is a result that you especially want to achieve, something that's in front of you right now. Perhaps you felt a little bit held back by how are you going to get to that result? How are you going to actually accomplish the process to achieve that result? Isn't it a sequence? Isn't there a system involved in achieving that result in a predictable fashion, a system to attract, convert, retain, retain, and systemize, so that not only can that success be developed, but it also can be replicated? And don't we, whether we're talking about our personal lives or our professional lives, or the perhaps a nonprofit or a community that we serve, whoever it is we serve, we need leads, we need resources, we need to be able to generate revenue that provides us the money flow that we need to accomplish the good that we wish to accomplish in the world. And for that, we need customers. We need to leverage the track record as we develop it and not lose it along the way. We need to develop and maintain a rapid pace of entrepreneurial progress, whether we're in a corporation setting or whether we're standing alone as an entrepreneur, perhaps part of an entrepreneurial community. And we need to build our business as well as build our personal life so that we might leave a legacy. It's a sequence, like this one here. Let's take a moment and work our way through the grid. Take a moment and choose any purple square. Don't tell me which one you choose. Now we're going to make a few moves in sequence. First, move horizontally, right or left, to the nearest gray square. Put your finger on that gray square. And then move vertically, up or down, to the nearest purple square. And from there, move diagonally, either up diagonally or down diagonally, to the nearest gray square. And from that gray square, move right or down to the nearest purple square. And then keep your finger on that square. Which one did you end up at? And what's really interesting is that we all start from different points in life. We're all working to achieve different results. Perhaps we have a grand plan to build something magnificent. Perhaps we're looking to pay liabilities off and clean up our financial clock, if you will. Perhaps we're expanding. We've got a fleet we want to build, or an expansion. I don't want to say toys, but we want to increase our life sphere, if you will, our experiences in life. We have a choice to make. At a crossroads, we're trying to leverage our time, our money more effectively. Perhaps just enjoying a moment with our life partner, or even going introspective, looking inside deeply into our own mind to understand how it works. Trying to find and refine our compass direction. Which way is magnetic north for us? Taking care of our personal life, our family, our health, our career as we climb the ladder, perhaps. And of course, progress is only natural, it's only human. Or if we find ourselves in the middle of something complex, how do we find our way forward? That's a question. But isn't it interesting that the only square left is most likely the square you ended up at? And actually, the relationship here is completely mathematical. And if you followed my direction, you will have ended up at this square here, which represents the center of calmness, through which, when we pass through the center of calmness and achieve that inner peace in our life, we can accomplish all of these various objectives from that center without having to pay the price of high stress. And if perhaps you ended up at a different square and didn't follow my directions, that's actually on me, because in this system and in this sphere, as I'm the mentor, it's my responsibility to make sure you get there. And the sequence that we use with the DK method to generate that internal peace is a simple process of activation. It starts with sensitivity. And this is where I'm going to share the blueprint with you. So if you take careful notes here, pay close attention, I'm actually giving away the entire system here as my way of paying it forward. Sensitivity is the beginning to really have a sense, if as stress passes through that energy field, that's us, that's our humanity. Sensitivity to that stress as it's coming in, as it's starting to affect us. And then we apply 3 different layers of calmness: physically, emotionally, and mentally, to reverse the impact of that stress and prevent it from amplifying in our lives. Now, you can think of this like the surface of a drum. if the drum is taut, if the skin is tightened, well, when you beat that drum, you can hear it for a long ways. And that's the vibration of the stress hitting your life and amplifying out into the world as well as into your own life. It's horrendous, right? The amount of amplification. But by applying calmness, well, now that drum skin is not taut anymore. Now it's relaxed, and so all you hear is it's a thud, and that stress isn't going anywhere because it's really being absorbed and dissipated, and no longer has any further impact on your life. And then we don't stop there. We apply the gratitude engine, which provides us that energy and flow to keep moving forward from a spirit of thankfulness. And then we apply some advanced topics here. Perfect peace, the inner peace that's developed by going through this sequence, which opens up our energetic potential from within. Michelle Hollis mentioned vibration, and this is where that vibration is free. It's no longer bound up by stress, and you're free then to allow all of that vibration of your vision, your mission, and your purpose to come forth and express itself back to the universe so that you can move forward to a higher level of success, and just sharing the love that you have from your heart with the world. And by expanding that vision greater than you've ever expanded it before, the resources come to meet you. And by applying this triangle you see in front of you, perfect peace, a sense of inner peace that's developed by generating that center of calmness, which becomes a new center that we can go to instead of always finding ourselves just drawn back into that center of high stress. And then that expanded vision represented by the yacht at the lower left form a triangle that bring abundance into our lives, the abundance that we need to share the love.
DK helped me to de-stress and to prepare myself for success. I use DK's quick start before I go on stage and in my daily life. His quick start takes me from a 10 to a 1 in under a minute. I highly recommend DK.
Less than 60 seconds. Stress level 10 to stress level 1. Sound interesting? Would you like to know more about that? I've got a few minutes left here. I can teach about this.
I'm here. I'm just in the background here. Yes, tell us more. Tell us more, cowboy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can teach about this, right? And I can teach a lot more about this than I have, and I have a whole digital course that we'll talk about here in a moment. But really, it's better to experience it for yourself. So, shall we?
To quote Pam Heath, yes.
Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to go through a very abbreviated version of this. It's going to be hyper fast. If you want to slow down the recording afterwards, I guess you could kind of replicate a longer sequence. But those that are in my group, we actually have several different speeds of this that we can utilize to energize this at a very slow, methodical, kind of hitting the deep and powerful gears in our life, or we can do a quick hit, right? Just a 60 seconds or a minute or 5 minutes, just to take the edge off. And so it's an applicable method that works for both. Here I'll do about a 5-minute session. So I'll just begin straight away. It's very simple. We begin with body relaxation. So I just start with placing the hand on top of my head, and I just let my mind's focus then flow down from top to bottom through all the muscles, and allowing each muscle group to relax from the head through the shoulders, the chest, the core, upper and lower back, just relaxing all those muscles in the hips, the legs, all the way through the feet until you feel it tingling at your toes. It indicates the energy is beginning to flow more freely. And then we also go through the arms and relax the upper arm, the forearm, the wrists, the fingers, until the fingertips feel that same. I'm going to close my eyes because I'm actually going to do this as I'm talking you through it. Until you feel that energy in the fingers and the fingertips that indicate that you've got better energy flow now coursing through your whole body because it's relaxed. And then we simply take the second step, which is to place our hands directly over our belly button. The last time I shared this with Ken, he mentioned concern about his abs. Don't worry about your abs. Just go inward from your hands and bring your mind to a point of focus 2 to 3 inches in, right at your emotional center. spend a few seconds just observing. I'll just be quiet here for 5 seconds. Just keep that focus at a point. And when you do that, you become sensitive to your emotional state. And from there, you can assess the level of energetic emotional waves that are always present there. And depending on your level of stress, you might have raging waves, like a raging sea in the middle of a storm. That would be what I would call a red color. And then there's lower levels of stress, yellow and green, right? Then we move up to the mind, and we place the mind at that same focal point, a singular point right in the middle of your head, right in the cerebrum, and you apply the same sensitivity to your cerebrum to sense and really feel the thought energy that's present, all those thoughts that are raging back and forth. If you've got high energy going on here, that would be a red condition. If perhaps you're working on a difficult problem and your mind is just heating up with all the, if you will, the engineering that's going on as you're working toward a solution, that would be a yellow, engaged but directed. And if you're just chilling out, then you'd be at a green. And in both of the cases of the thought as well as the emotional, we just apply mind intention to bring those colors down from red toward green, and just allow those waves to settle both at the emotional center as well as at the thought center. And then from there, we reach out and grab a point in our past where we were perfectly at peace, and we borrow that energy back again to bring it back, because we can really recall from a sense memory recall perspective, we can recall that energy that we felt back at that time of perfect peace right here, right now. There's nothing preventing any of us from bringing that memory back right into the present moment. And so we leverage that to actually return ourselves to that feeling when all is right in our world, no matter what's going on externally. Internally, everything is right. And then we actually take that and we work through a movie screen technique that empowers us to actually clear obstacles by putting them on the screen and just clearing them out, and then moving forward by putting then our goal on the screen and activating a strong sense of gratitude. And not just a sense of mental gratitude, yeah, I should feel thankful for whatever this thing is that we're going to achieve, but actually a physical body mind type of gratitude. We're actually putting our hand on our heart and applying mind focus to a point directly in the heart and allowing the heart to begin radiating the gratitude. And we have methods to develop this thankfulness, which for some of us might be hard if this circuit is not strong in us at the moment, or if that energy is somehow held back. We have systems and processes to allow that gratitude to expand until it's radiating very strongly. And when you pair all of this together, suddenly you're talking about an individual that was stressed and tense, and now is fully relaxed at a center of calmness, perfectly at peace, radiating gratitude, clearing obstacles, and grateful for a goal that now is very clear in their mind, right? They have a clear vision, and that only naturally moves all of us when we reach that state forward into success and into being able to share the love, right? Because with that activated heart, talk about World Love Week. If we're all activated to love, I mean, how much better would the world be if everybody had that type of activation and we're able to move forward to share and give love in tangible ways to those around us. So that's a very brief, is more of a tour really of what we do as the workout. If you were to join one of my specific webinars on this topic, then we would actually go through this in about a 15-minute session. And those in our group, every time we meet, we go through just like a martial arts class, right? You don't go to a martial arts class to just learn concepts. You actually go to practice, right? And drill. And that's what we do. We work out, and we take 10 to 15 minutes every session to go through these techniques until they're mastered, until they can be done much more quickly, perhaps in just a few seconds, until you can actually apply them in a boardroom, in a meeting, on a Zoom call, right in front of everyone, and without anyone being the wiser that internally you have this process to eliminate stress in the moment. And imagine having access to this twice a month, success activation sessions each and every month for a year? How much benefit would that produce for you? And how much more would you be able to take care of your family? In this case, this is my family. I'm going to bypass asking permission to reveal them because they're already sitting here in front of you. But think of your own family. And even if your natural family is small, perhaps it's not as big as mine. There's 10 of us here. And of course, you can imagine how much stress can be leveraged if we're not all careful of how we relate with one another. But if with methods to achieve calmness, we're living in harmony. And your family, I might also offer, is likely beyond the natural family, the traditional family that you have, but it also extends to your friends and those that you choose to be part of your family. So my guess is that your family is much larger than just 10, perhaps it's 110. And these kind of methods just allow you to share so much more love with your family and find solutions like my daughter Maria here.
This really big house, but it was just me and it was creaking and creepy. I went through the technique that you showed me, and afterwards I felt very calm and relaxed and able to combat any weird sounds that I heard. And I went to bed and I was not scared or anxious, and I felt very at peace and ready to handle it. So I would say it was definitely a success.
And what was really cool about Maria's experience is even as she was able to clear that source of anxiety from her life, she moved forward and achieved a much higher level of success, measured in parachuting. A little bit worrisome from a parental standpoint, but it was great for her. She really moved forward in her life and had a great experience with her friend jumping out of a plane for the very first time. So the mentorship that I offer comes in two parts. First, there is a digital course that, of course, is worth its weight in gold all by itself. Even with no human contact whatsoever, if you were to engage this course, you would learn and apply a ton, and your life would completely shift. There's been a lot of talk over the World Love Week about shifting your mindset, and of course, that's very important. And there's been a lot of great speakers that specialize in that. But once your mindset is shifted and you've decided that you want to do something different and you're settled on it and you're sure and committed, well, you need a way to clear out the stress, right? Because this is likely going to be different for you than what your routines have been up to this point. And that's what the Stress to Success program offers, activating that body-mind mastery so that when that stress comes up, you can clear it and keep moving forward much faster. The real benefit is the second part of this, which is the live meetings where the group comes together, we support each other, and we move forward, developing and enhancing and strengthening that center of calmness. And when we talk about value, of course, love is not a financial thing, but if we just want to translate it all into financial terms, the benefit to any of us, and definitely I'm perceiving this benefit, is only limited by our own potential. So I put a number, very high number here, 200,000 plus, but there might be another zero here for you, or even two or more. How much would that be worth? For me, it was worth investing over 100,000 to develop the skills that I now have, and now I'm able to share and teach and give back out to others, sharing my heart with you. And because I've distilled this down, really, I've taken it to a point where it's a 10x benefit. Would it be worth 10,000 to be able to permanently shift your life and have a skill set that you would always have available to reach out and achieve a center of calmness any place, anytime? I would say for me, it was worth 10 times that much. But what if there really wasn't any concern about money? And what if you could enjoy these results and make them your own, activating relaxation whenever you need, the ability to sleep, the ability to clear headaches and all those stress symptoms, no longer a problem, emotional calmness, activating the success circuits where you know for sure that you're moving forward, opening up the gratitude engine in your life, and then eliminating those blocks that can hold us back for years, right? Performance stress, procrastination, and just simply the pain of failure, and achieving in the end, mind-body mastery. I'm just thinking there's so many outcomes here that come out of this, benefits to going through this type of process, this type of system. course, feeling the love with less stress. But I think back to one of my clients who actually opened up a circuit of creativity in her mind just by going through this method one time, where she was able to move forward and develop these wonderful shows that she's displaying online these days, and really just created a fundamental shift where that creativity opened up and the stress eliminated, empowering her to give and receive more love in her business as well as in her personal life. Would that be enough of a solution for you to make the moves? That's the real question, because that is required implementation. It's helpful to arrive live. If folks invest in this kind of a program and they don't show up, you're not going to get any benefit, and that's not really my deal, right? It is super important to arrive, make the moves, engage, leverage the community, and then most importantly, dream and achieve. And if I could leave you with any one idea out of this entire talk, don't forget to dream and put effort and priority. Make a choice to dream, and then make a choice to do something with those dreams and actually bring them to achievement. So if you want to share the love that's in your heart, create a dream around that, and then go forward on that dream. As Ken keeps encouraging me, go achieve it, right? Maybe you can get a whole event done in just a week or two. I mean, that's crazy fast from my point of view. But Ken keeps showing me how to do it, and one day I will make an attempt to do the same. There's always more out there, and there's always a way to broaden our vision, and this is a way to get out of our own way and just get out there and make it happen. You might ask, with a program like this, how could I offer any kind of a guarantee? It's pretty simple. The process works. Everybody that's tried it, who implements, there's no failure. So that allows me to give a rock solid guarantee for folks that invest. If something doesn't work out, it's simple. Apparently, we weren't meant to be together. You weren't supposed to be part of the group. We just part ways. No hard feelings. But those who implement, there's the failure level is 0%. And not only that, but we have the benefit within the group of keep holding each other accountable to move forward.
DK, as an accountability partner, you're completely awesome. I've grown so much. I've learned so much from you. You keep asking me the questions. You keep asking me what else I need. You help me get past those humps of where I get stuck at. So I know that your program is amazing, and what you've shared with me and helping me get to my program and my abilities of what I'm able to share with others, it's so exciting. So anyone who gets to work with you will be enjoying those pieces and attributes that you actually bring out to us and helping us empower ourselves to empower others. So I am so excited. Thank you, DK. It's been awesome.
And of course, the collaboration that we enjoy isn't limited to simply stress elimination or removing overwhelm or anxiety from your life equation. But whatever expertise we have and share, we share that with each other and help each other move forward. So the question I have for you is, if the answer were sitting in front of you right now, how much time would you be saving not carrying that stress? And for those you might consult, what if they consulted with you to find out what your secret is, where you get that inner peace? And what if your mind was so clear that your decision making were snap quick, and you no longer had to worry about lack, but you were just overflowing with abundance, both of resources as well as love to share with others? And what if you had that love to share with your family, children, for whoever you reach out to, and wherever you find yourself being, from a position of abundance, from a place of complete calmness and inner peace? I've offered some free gifts that I believe will be here in the dashboard. But we can't work with anyone, but I would like to invite those who wish to take this process farther and deeper to consider joining us in the inner circle. We're building a group, small, intimate group, not too many folks, because we want to be able to work together and hold each other accountable. So we need to make sure that it's not too big. But for those who are interested, we do have an offer specific for World Love Week, because we're with Ken Krell, and Ken Krell is a wonderful audience, at a price that you would not be able to achieve elsewhere, simply by going to this website here, dk.grouppages.com/inner circle. where you'll find a page, simple page here like this. And you'll see the normal cost, which of course you won't have to worry about, with two options, either a one lump sum lifetime offer. Lifetime meaning as long as you wish to hang out with us, it's not going to cut off after a year, but it's always available to you. Anything and anywhere we have an activity or a meeting, you're welcome to join us. Lifetime access as well to the digital course elements and the recordings. And we also offer this because we're in a pandemic and because financial resources are stressed for many, a way to spread this out into 12 payments. Non-renewable, meaning that once you've reached your 12th payment, it's done. You're then a lifetime member, nothing more required. So this is a very special offer because Ken Corell is such a special individual, and I'm so thankful to have this opportunity to be here working with Ken, and I look forward to working with Ken further. And the other reason why this is set up like this is because I think that folks from World Love Week that might join my group will likely help spread the message that there is a solution for stress. And we can achieve higher levels of success by eliminating the stress, which empowers us to share, give, and receive more love. You just raise that love quotient out there in the world, one person at a time. So it's been, Ken, such a pleasure, and Jor as well, such a pleasure to be a part of this effort here at World Love Week. And if we have time for questions, I'd be happy to entertain whatever you might have in mind.
We do, DK. We have about 5 minutes here, so we can rock and roll. What is the typical? And I can't see the access. I can't see Facebook, so I'm going to work from the seat of my pants, as it were. What is the number one thing people ask you?
The number one thing people ask me, I get a variety of different questions. I'm gonna have to think on that.
Pick one. You don't have time to think. You got to dance, cowboy.
I got it. I think the number one question people ask me is, how am I so calm? That's the first thing they notice, right? Because I mean, the Mr. Calm thing is not just a cute name. That was actually a name given to me by somebody who says, "Why are you so calm?" Now I understand why you're so calm. How do you manage to do that? And what I just revealed here is this is the secret, right? Is that through developing this process and through applying it in my life. I mean, I applied it before I came on stage here today. So this is how I get it done.
Yeah, you definitely are that. That is absolutely for sure. You absolutely are that. The king. I would call you the king of calm.
Thanks, Ken.
No, for real. But you make it so easy, and it's your natural state. I mean, we've talked multiple times before, and yeah, you inherently, when we're in your presence, slow down, which is interesting, which is really interesting. And I learned that listen carefully, people, because here's an important lesson. When you have someone that you need to stop and pay attention to, they control the conversation, because you've got to stop and listen to them. People that are it's easy to it's distraction. We hear so much noise all day long. But when you are able to be calm and allow space for people to understand what you're saying, you saw that earlier today with Mary Jo. Now you're seeing it with DK. They capture your attention. They capture your participation. They capture your mind, and they capture potentially your beliefs. So listen to the element of calm. It seems to be a thread today, and I'm gonna say that that's no accident for me and for my life, but it's totally true. So if you have an ability to go and to get to calmness, to get to peace, to get to relax the nervousness that is within, then absolutely you want to take yourself advantage. Take yourself advantage. That was really made sense the way I said that. Take good advantage of DK's great offer. We will have a link on the dashboard for you as well. So if you didn't catch the website address, you can just go over to the World Love Week dashboard, which is worldloveweek.com/dashboard, and grab DK's offer, because it will for sure be a great thing for you. And that I can tell you. I know this guy runs with his heart first. And which is kind of hard to run that way, but you managed to do it.
It's an art form, right?
Apparently so. And how he gets it out behind that shirt, I don't know. But it is a joy to have you with us, and we're honored to have you with us as well. Looking forward to see you on our next upcoming events. Also, you bring an element of compassion and heart and goodness to everything that you touch, and that is a really important element that we're really excited to have with us. So I want to honor you. I want to thank you. And any parting words? You got 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
No pressure.
Just remember, no pressure.
28 now.
Just remember the equation. Higher level pushing harder does not mean stressing more. This is an opportunity here to separate that equation. And and I just want to reiterate too, don't forget to dream. Just let your mind reach the center of calmness and just let it open and expand as if it was as wide as the sky, and just whatever flows into it, let that intuition inform you. Let that dream just drop into your lap, and then go achieve it and apply this method to take the stress out and just reach out for success and just share the love that's in your heart with everybody around you. Thanks, Ken.
You got it, DK. Thanks so much, everybody. DK Warner, thank you so much, my friend. You're awesome. Well done.
Thanks.
Okay.
I love you too.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's just one big love fest here at World Love Week. You are watching World Love Week, and our special guest this afternoon, this evening, this morning, wherever you are on this amazing, amazing planet, is the one, the only, the outrageous and chocolatey good Michelle Hollis. And that is to quote a technical term from the incredible Dean Hankey, who always says that everything amazing is chocolatey good. Today, you're going to discover, it's true. Today, you're going to discover why words, the vehicle to attracting abundance, need a tune-up. And the speaker you see, this gorgeous woman you have in front of you, is Michelle Hollis. She is the CEO of Vision Board Music. She's a law of attraction coach whose mission is simple: to remind you of how to create a life of ease by silencing your inner critic. And tune into your true voice so you can use it powerfully at all times. At Vision Board Music, the belief is that every voice gets to be heard and every purpose gets to be fulfilled. Known as Emtrey, did I pronounce that right?
Emtrey.
That's what I meant, Emtrey, in the EDM and underground hip-hop scenes. She is a singer-songwriter, and she's graced the TEDx stage in Kentucky and owes her personal and professional development to music, which is her teaching tool. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans of all persuasions and destinations, and wherever you are on this planet and beyond, the incredible Michelle Hollis.
Yay! I am so excited. I'm so glad I get to say hi to you, Ken. Hi. I've been watching you all week, and it's been a blessing. Thank you all so much for having me. And I love love. Love is the answer, folks. I mean, if you just remember that, we damn near could just wrap this up and go home. But we're not going to do that, of course, because there's a lot of questions. So I'm really happy to talk to you today. And yes, what I'm talking about is why your words need a tune-up. And let's think about something. First of all, music is everything, because the frequency of life is everything, because everything's in motion. So everything matters. Everything is matter for that fact. But let's just, Ken, let me know how this sounds, if it sounds like horrible.
I can't even hear it.
You can hear it?
It's really, I know what a tuning fork sounds like, but it's really, really light.
Well, then we ain't gonna do that. So you gotta be ready to pivot. You know what I'm saying?
We're going to dance, babe.
Okay, but you can hear my voice fine?
You sound so sexy.
This man, cut him a check, y'all, cut him a check. No, I was kidding. Okay, so let's just jump into it, because I don't have a lot of time and I love to talk. So first of all, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. We all remember that phrase. There's a small problem with it, and that is that sticks and stones break your bones. Words do hurt. Maybe not the actual word, but it's all about the energy behind it. Because you see, we live in a vibrational universe and things are always moving, always in motion. What goes up must come down. As above, so below. You know, it's a fractal existence in which we live, from the inside down to the atom, all the way around to the universe. And so everything that happens in life, it's the energy behind it, not necessarily what we see, not necessarily what we say. So what I'm going to talk to you about is why your words may need a tune-up, because see, your words are the vehicle into which you can actually shift into a rapid warp speed towards abundance. But what makes all the difference in the world is your energy behind the words that you're using. So let's say, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Michelle M. Trey Hollis. I'm with Vision Board Music and Vision for the Soul, and we be in harmony. And really, everything be in harmony. It's called a universe because you and I verse into one. It's all one verse, one song. And that's how we view the life experience. And we're so happy to do that. So when I was thinking, how can I express love in the most simple way that you can use words to empower yourself to step into a vibration of love quickly? And words are the quickest way to do it. Because let's think about this. Speaking of the vehicle, when you get into your car, what's the first thing you do before you go anywhere? You turn on the radio, or you tap into satellite, whatnot, you know, or you're tuning in. You're tuning in. And you cannot tune in to 100 AM and expect to hear what's on 95.5 FM. That's Science 101. We all know this to be true. And like my great friend and comrade and colleague Pam talked about with the law of attraction, that's what it's all about. Because we live in a vibrational universe, and sound is vibrational. Light is vibrational. So when you think about, you get into the car, you're going to tune your radio. You want to make sure before you do anything else that you got it on the jams you're trying to roll to. And that makes such a difference in how you're going to experience your day. Now, what does this have to do with business, and what does it have to do with my business? Well, we here at Vision Board Music are of the belief that every voice gets to be heard and every purpose fulfilled. And with that, we offer you today an opportunity to check your vehicle, which is your vessel, your body, your surroundings, and see where you just might need to make some adjustments, make a tune-up so that you can get to where you're trying to go quicker. And it makes it so much easier. So one thing that you've got to consider is that if love is the fuel to where you're trying to go, because the love is vibrational and this universe is vibrational. If love is the quickest fuel, the best fuel to get you to where you need to go, then words are your shift. That's how you get the opportunity to, I like to say, holy shift into a better place, and to be able to do it quickly. The reason that this is important, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been through the ringer, as I'm sure many of you have out there in life. Just like Ken said earlier, life has a way of being hard, of being extremely difficult. But the good news is that it's only as difficult as we decide to make it. It's only as how they say the struggle is real. The struggle is resistance. It's like trying to drive forward when you still got your brakes up. You know what I mean? Not a good plan. Not a good plan if you're trying to get somewhere. You know, so words are the vehicle, or words are the shift stick to where you're trying to go. So if, let's say, the emotional guidance system, for instance, this is all law of attraction based as well. I know Pam talked about how powerfully that she uses it and manifests things in her life, and it is possible. And it is so much more simple than it seems. And so what I like to say is, okay, Abraham Hicks, we talked about The Secret. Pam talked about The Secret, the book, The Secret, that really blew that this thought process and the universal law of attraction out of the water. People really started grasping it. They started understanding that, wow, if you ask and believe, you can receive. You got to tune your receiver, though. That's the problem. That's another issue on top of what Pam was talking about. That's another issue that people are having nowadays, is that we talk ourselves right out of the blessing that we expect and that we've asked for a lot of times. And so these are the things that we get to work on. And that's okay, because it's really easy. And because it's so deceptively easy, we tend to not do it. We tend to cuss people out when we're driving. You know, we see someone cut our path, we want to cuss them out. That's not a good plan if you want to get somewhere safe and you want to be in peace of mind as you enjoy the journey. You know, these are all things that are very conscious decisions that we must make in our everyday life and as we're traveling. I'm just checking the time because I want to make sure I'm good. Okay, so these are all very important things. In the road to life, on your journey, on your entrepreneurial journey. An entrepreneurial journey is a spiritual journey, no doubt, because it's going to cause you to expand your thinking. It's going to cause you to have to really pay attention to what's going on around you. Because if you're an entrepreneur, you are driving. You don't have time to sleep in between where you're going. You know, you got to be conscious of the breaks that you're taking on your way to where you're trying to get to go. And most importantly, you get to really, really think about enjoying the journey. You got to be prepared. You know, when it comes to needing a tune-up, you know, when you're taking any trip, you want to make sure that you have everything that you need to be successful, especially a map. You don't know how you're going to get to where you're going. First of all, you don't know where you are. That's something pretty important. So you know where you are, and then you say, okay, where am I trying to go? How does that relate to your person? How does that relate to the person that you are and you being who you be? How that relates is that you need to know exactly how you feel, because your feelings are the vibration. Your feelings are the vibration that lets you know where, if you are on path or not. It's your GPS system. So, emotional guidance system. This is a concept that was presented by the amazing Abraham Hicks. I am a full believer. And listen, I saw The Secret. I saw The Secret. I'm not going to date myself because it's been out for a while. But I saw The Secret back in the day, and it's been decades. Let's just keep it real. And when I saw that, it blew my mind, because what they were saying made so much sense. And so what they talked about is the emotional guidance system. It lets you know to check in, to pit stop. Hey, if you're not feeling good about something, using your intuition. And I am truly of the belief that right now we are universally, we're in a place where the feminine energy is really necessary right now. That's the intuition. That's that mother knows best feeling. And it's not a gender thing, But we all get to tap into that. We all get to get back to a nourishing, an unconditional love. And that's important. So back to the guidance system. The guidance system lets you know, am I on the right track or am I not? And how does that work? Well, as soon as you feel like not good, I mean, it's really that simple. It seems like deceptively simple. But as soon as you feel like you're not feeling good about anything, the sooner you catch it, just like with a car, when you're on a trip, as soon as you feel a little wobble or you feel a little resistance, you probably shouldn't keep just driving. You know what I mean? You might want to pull over and check out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And so, so you're not feeling good. This is what I've learned to do. And literally, that's what I was saying earlier. What I was trying to say was that I knew about The Secret that whole time. Literally only started watching or started listening to Abraham Hicks, even though I've heard that name associated with The Secret for over a decade. And you know, when I finally hit the button on YouTube, when the little tabs kept coming up, the little pictures, I did it 3 months ago, October 31st weekend. What had happened was I had went to Florida to move my boyfriend down there because he got a job brewing. I was happy to be there for him, but I didn't feel it was the right thing to do. That's a longer story for another time. I came back here because it was voting time and it all happened so fast. I didn't have enough time at that time to, pardon me, I didn't have enough time at that time to change my license so that I could go vote. And I wanted to make sure that my voice was heard at the polls. So I went and got him settled in, came back here. In the middle of that, got laid off from my job that I did not request getting laid off from. And they've decided that because COVID had decided to blow up in El Paso, Texas. You could look it up. It was so bad that when my uncle got sick from COVID-19 and he was coming down the steps and could not breathe, and when the ambulance came to get him, they took him to an urgent care center because the emergency rooms were full. If you have not had that happen in your town, consider that a blessing and do what you can to protect your people. This is not anything normal. They had prisoners, or they had people from the jail, inmates, bagging up bodies. The morgues were full here. I'm not lying. Look it up. In October, the end of October. So no, it's not again. So I come back to that after being laid off. A few days later, get a humongous box full of my stuff on my doorstep. I haven't talked to my ex-boyfriend since. I have no idea what happened. So yeah, I could, to say that I wanted to pull over and just quit, it would be an understatement. But I knew that I had an obligation to my uncle, because I knew that what I had inside of me to help every voice be heard and to participate with my family and to share my knowledge and my love and my vision with my family, I had massively failed. Because perhaps if I had talked to my cousin, my younger cousin in her 20s, that went out for her birthday because of all the misinformation, all the noise, the white noise, the static that's going on, the feedback that's happening around us. Conflicting information. She goes out, parties, comes home, effectively spreads it throughout my uncle's household. And I thought, man, if I would have been having these conversations with companies, with my families, then perhaps that would not have happened. So every voice is important, especially yours, because there's something that is going on from your vantage point that we can't see, and that you get to talk about, that you get to empower the situation in a positive way. And it makes all the difference in the world. So we get to clear those critics out of our head or challenges, like for me was drug addiction and alcohol use, that stifle, squelch your throat, your voice. Makes you feel shame, guilt, all the things that really are barricades and blocks to moving forward. But only you know what yours is, if you have one. And if you do, don't pretend it's not there. That's not a good plan. And it won't get you anywhere. Okay. So anyways, the reason that, so as all that's going on, something inside of me said, okay, maybe I should check out this Abraham Hicks after all. You know, maybe they got something good to say. And game changer, bro. I figured out that, hey, it's all me. I have things to heal. There's shit to do. I've got shit to do. I can't stay still. You know what I mean? And so that's what, from that point forth, it's been a journey. But what I was coming to when I was saying that about checking your engines and checking in and tuning up, when you feel like there's something wrong, don't keep pressing through. You need to take that emotion out and go, hey, emotion, pretend this is the emotion. Hey, emotion, what are you doing here? What is that? You set it aside, and then you let the emotion speak to you. That's called clearing. When people say you have an emotional block, that's what that means. Don't drive over it and blow out your tires. You know what I mean? You need to check that engine, see what's happening. And the power in that is that when you open up your heart, when you open up the hood, open up your heart, and let the energy flow through, you get the opportunity. The universe will deliver you the answer. There's not been one time since I've been doing this. And this is 3 months, bro. Like, it's not, I literally just started listening to Abraham Hicks in October of 2020. So I know if my life can change dramatically in the midst of everything that I was going through, I know that the same thing can happen for you. So it really makes me excited to share this and to help empower you to check in and your words. Let's bring it back to the words. Your words will get you there quicker, or it will shoot you in reverse so fast that you won't go anywhere but backwards. So say good words, speak life into your situations. Listen, some people think that God in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and God spoke it out. And that's what started life. Some people think it was a big bang. Vision board music feels like that's the same thing. What's different about it? It's a sound. Boom. Whoop, there it is. You know the song if you're from the 90s. But you know what I'm saying? What's the difference? The point is it's sound. Nothing stays the same. Newton proved that what goes up must come down. Things are moving. Nothing is solid. There are atoms in between each other, whether they're solid as this metal or whether it's water particles. Everything is moving. There's space between. The words that you say, when you think about what you say, think about how far it goes. And think about how important it is that what you say matches and puts you into alignment with what it is that you want to draw. So I think that's about all that I have to say about that. I'm going to land the plane, as they say, because just chew on that. What I do want to say is that I do have a gift for you that I did include. It is called The 7 Keys to Harmony by Learning to Love Feedback. Because feedback's important. And what you don't want, the one thing you do not want is silence. You don't want silence. Worlds are made from noise. Learn to love feedback so you can adjust and move your microphone away from the speaker and just know where to stand so people can hear you clear. That's it. But that's the free gift that I have for you. I also have a meditation for you. It's called Breathe. And that meditation is powerful. It just helps you. It's a guided meditation that helps you to just impress in, which oxygen is information. You impress in when you breathe and you express out. And then that's how you get, you transmute it and you let go of everything that's in your way. So I think that about does it. I'm just wondering, Ken, are you still there?
Nope, I'm not.
I just want to make sure I don't, overdo it. But thank you so much. I'm sorry.
No, I said I'm not here.
Okay.
No, I'm not here. And we're still together for a few more minutes. So if there's something else you want to add or whatever before I bring on the incredible DK, who's looking terrific in the wings over there. He looks like he's just enjoying the sunset. Just enjoying the sunset over there, dancing. That's it.
Okay, no problem. Yep. Well, I hope that makes sense to everyone. And, my call to action for you is another thing, while we were speaking on being a vehicle for you and using words as your vehicle, I'll give you a couple quick tips. Positive affirmations. That's something that you can do. It's free and it can change the way that you interact with your world. There's a book called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. I can't remember the name of the author, but powerful. All he did to change his vibration was to say, look in the mirror and say, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. And anytime he had a doubtful energy that started to rise, he just would say, I love myself. I love myself. Powerful, powerful, powerful book. Simple. But you got to do the work. That's the key. You have to do the work and you have to not be afraid of it being so easy that it almost doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? But it does make sense. I said, Ken, I decided that I'm now an ambassador for the Counterintuitive Intelligence Bureau. I just made that up.
I love it.
But it's true though, because it's, what's that?
Should write that one down.
Yeah, because what most of the times to have a breakthrough in life, what you have to do is it's counterintuitive because it seems so deceptively simple.
Yeah. And I'm going to jump in on something because I do want to take a little bit of exception to one of the things that you said, which is where we get into dialogue, because I did hear you. And I do want to make a statement. And that is that as much as we want to have conversation and we do want to have communication, there is massive power in silence. And this is something that I learned from me. So many of us, and I've been the big poster child of, let's just be in action to avoid our lives. If I'm just doing something, then I don't have to face me. I don't have to face my own demons and my own stuff. So what Lily Tomlin said many years ago, and I bought a greeting card of this that was on my wall for years, it went from my early 20s, for fast acting relief, try slowing down. And there's a book called, that's the title is Stillness is the Key. And I'm going blank on the author's name. He's a famous author too. He's great. But Stillness is the Key. And I'm going to recommend that when the guacamole hits the fan, then what you do is you sit your ass down and just breathe, and you're all about the breath and to do the meditation. That stillness will help some of those demons show up. And it may be uncomfortable for me to sit still. But I got to tell you, when I'm in that state, magic stuff happens. We wouldn't be here today if I didn't do that, if I didn't sit still. And whether it's taking a walk or taking a run or just baking a cake in that stillness, that's where magic just sort of happens, and your mind can empty of all the crazy stuff. And then it just can get easier. So I did want to just add a little bit of clarification to that, because I think that's really critical. You can't do the meditation unless you slow down. I agree. That's why I say pull over, pull over and check it out. Pull your ass over, baby. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And apparently I discovered that the word ass it stands for anterior superior spine. So there we go. We're just talking about technical terms. Now, I love that. Whether that is true or not, I don't know, but that's what I was told many years ago. I'm going with it. Well, you know what they say, a belief is just something that you repeat to yourself over and over. There you go. Exactly right.
So it works.
Exactly right. Exactly right. This has been a joy, which was certainly not at all unexpected. I'm thrilled to have you with us, and looking forward to seeing you again. I know that at some point you may be hosting some of our sessions later on during the week. We'll see how that can work out. Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible, the amazing, and incredibly motivated. Look at that smile. I mean, good grief. That's just amazing. The just delightful Michelle Emtre-Hollis. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you so much. You all be blessed. Thank you. Keep on loving.
There you go. Appreciate it. Good to have you with us.
I stand for love. Do you?
Hey, this is Captain Lou, and I stand for love, baby. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Yes. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you?